Hello, hi. So today we will just deal with the last exercise of the linear programming chapter. So actually so far we have just tried to plot the linear inequalities on the graph. In this exercise we will just talk about the practical situations that gives rise to such inequalities. And how are we going to plot them on the graph, and the way that we are going to use today is what we call it as linear programming. Okay, the way that you are going to solve this linear inequalities that gives rise to some of the day-to-day applications or the situations that is happening in our day-to-day life. So that part of the exercise we are going to deal. All right, so let me just show you the first question. So there is a boat trip that costs $20 for adults and $10 for children. Suppose there are X adults and Y children on the trip, and you have to solve on like 4 category of questions they have given. We'll just try to solve them. They are asking there must not be more than 10 people on the trip. Explain why X plus Y is less than or equal to 10. All right, so we'll just try to jot out what and all is given in this question. Then we'll try to solve one by one. Okay. All right. So they have just given you there is a boat trip. Okay. So for the boat trip, the cost for children or the cost for adult is about $20. Okay. And for children, it is about $10. Okay. Fine. So what is the first question they are asking us to solve is there must be not more than 10 people on the trip. Okay. So not more than 10 people. And you have to explain why this X plus Y is less than or equal to 10. All right. So this is obvious. So they have given that there are 10 people in the trip, right? Um, okay. So there are 10 people in the trip. So what that exactly mean? 10 people are there in the trip means when you add both the number of both the number of people and the number of children, it should be at least 10. Okay. No, it should not be more than 10 because they've given a strict thing that there are only 10 people in the trip. Okay, so they have given that there are 10 people in the trip. So the total number of people, okay, it should be not more than 10. That is total number of people is nothing but we'll keep the number of adult as X and the number of children as Y. Okay, so this when you just add up the number of people, it should be lesser than or equal to 10, not more than 10. Okay, so this is the inequality. So this is true. So this is nothing but they have just given, you have to explain why this is true. So it is obvious. Since they have given not more than 10, when you add them, you should just get 10 or lesser than 10 value. Got it? Yes. All right. So we'll just look into the next question. Same question. They have just given different subcategories to solve. Okay. Okay. So what they have asked in the second part, the money taken for tickets must be at least $120. And you have to explain why 2x plus y is greater than or equal to 10. I mean 12. Okay. All right. So here money that has been taken for tickets. Okay. So money for the tickets should be at least $120. Okay, it should be at least. I think that part of the board is not visible. I'll just write it here. Okay, so money for ticket, it should be at least $120. So how can we deal this? You know, cost for an adult. Okay, we have just kept the number of adult as X. Okay, so cost for an adult, it should be um 20x. Why? Because they have just charged $20 for an adult. We don't know how many adults are there, but we know the amount. Okay, so cost for an adult should be 20x, and also cost for a children, sorry, for a child, it should be 10y. Okay, we have just kept the number of children who are present as y, and the value that they are like that they are allotting for per child is $10. Okay, so that is what we have written here. So 10y. Now what are we supposed to find? They are just asking the money for the tickets, that is the total cost which they are allotting for the ticket purpose. It should be at least $120. All right, so how can we formulate for this is, like you see, 1 minute, I'll just move this down. So total amount they are allotting for tickets will be 20x plus 10y. They are asking us, like, it should be at least $120. So it can be any value that is more than 120, but it should be at least 120. Means we can formulate like 20x plus 10y will be greater than or equal to $120. All right. So now what can we do with this equation? You can see some zeros in the trailing part. So we'll just divide this by 10. Okay, so what you will get 2x plus y is greater than or equal to 12. Okay, we need not write the dollar symbol in the equation part. This is fine. Okay, so 20x plus 10y should be greater than or equal to 120. We'll just divide this and we get this equation. So that is what they have asked. Like, you have to explain why 2x plus y is greater than or equal to 12. So this is how we arrive this. All right, fine. Now we'll just move to the next part of the question. Show the region satisfied by both these inequalities. Okay, so this, all these problems we have already done in the previous exercise. Now in this we'll just try to show both the inequalities on the graph. Okay, so what is the first inequality that we have obtained is x plus y should be lesser than or equal to 10. This is our first inequality equation, and the second inequality equation what we have got is 2x plus y is greater than or equal to 12. All right, fine. So we know how to deal this. We'll just write this as x plus y equals 10. Okay, and we will try to substitute some values for x and y. I'll take x as 1, then my y value will be 9. X is 2, my y value will be 8. X is 3, y value will be 7. So it goes on like this. When my x value is 10, then the y value becomes 0. Okay, I'm just allotting values to plot on the graph. Similarly to this equation, it will be 2x plus y equals 12. And when I'm allotting some values, I'll just start with 0. When I substitute 0, then I get y equals 12. And when I substitute 1, I get y as 10. Okay. And for 2, I'll get 8. Then for 3, I'll get 6. It goes on like this. And when my x value is 6, I got y value as 0. Okay, fine. Now we will just try to plot this. Okay, so for this inequality equation, when my, I'll just zoom this. Okay, fine. So you just see for x value, when my x value is 1, then my y value will become 9. Okay, so I'll just plot over here 9. It is too big. We'll just reduce this. Okay, when my x value is 1, y value is 9. Okay, then when my x value is 2, y value is 8, and x value is 3, y is 7. Okay, it is just a plot. 4, it will be 6, and for 5, it will be 5, and for 6, it will be 4, 7, it is 3, and for 8, it is 2, 9, it is 1, and for 10, it is 0. All right, fine. So we have just got this, and you know, obviously for 0, it will be 10. Okay, fine. Next, I'll just draw a line for this. Fine, okay. I think this also so big. Wait. All right. So next we will try to plot the graph for the second set of equations. Um, so this is nothing but the equation for x plus y is less than or equal to 10. Okay, fine. Now for the next equation, we'll just take another color. We'll use this pen itself, I guess. Okay, fine. So for the next set of thing, what we have plotted is for 0, it is 12. Okay, when my x value is 0, the answer is 12. Okay, for y value is 12. And for 1, it is 10. Okay, and for 2, it is 8. So it comes here. For 2, it is 8. For 3, it is 6. For 4, it is 4. Okay, and for 5, it will be, I think, 2. Okay, and for 6, it is 0. All right, so we'll just try to draw this line as well. So this blue line represents 2x plus y is greater than or equal to 12. Okay, so we have just plotted the inequalities, and what they have just asked is you have to show the region that is satisfied by both the inequalities. So you see, this is one inequality and this is another equality. So the region that is satisfied by both the inequalities is this region. Okay, wait, I'll just show in this color. It's not getting minimized. Okay, this region, no, not the outer part, and this region exactly, that deals, that is the region, that is, okay, got it. Say this region is not selected. So this region is the part which satisfies both the inequalities. So far in the last two exercises, what we would have done is we would have shaded the region that is not required or unwanted. And here they are just asking us to shade the region that is shared by both the inequalities. So I'm just shading the part which is needed for both the inequality equations. All right, fine. Or we should just call inequalities. All right. So the next part of the question is, what is the smallest number of adults that should be carried? Okay. So now the proper part, that is the part that is shared by two regions, we will check. And when you check, you know that the x quadrant represents the x values, that is number of adult. Okay. And the y quadrant represents the children total, right? Okay. Or the number for the children who are traveling. Okay, got it. 1 minute. So this part gives number of children. So what is our question is, they are asking us how, like, what is the minimum value for the number of adult who can travel. So when you check the x quadrant, the smallest value that is shared by both the inequalities starts from 2. This is the value that is shared by both the inequalities. So that should be the value for the number of adults. Got it? So you will just write, okay, the smallest points on the shared region. Okay, shared region is what is the point? 2 comma 8 is the point. You see, 2 comma 8. Okay, it is the point. So that is, there must be at least 2 adults. 2 adults in the trip. Okay, I hope this is clear. We'll just move to the next part of the exercise, that is the last exercise, that is 20C. So you see in this question, a man buys X cartons of milk and Y bottles of water. Okay, explain all these stuffs. Okay, we'll just write down what is given. 1 minute. Okay, so what is our question? They have just given, a man buys X cartons of milk. Okay, and he buys Y bottles of water. You have to explain certain things. So we will go one by one. They have asked us to explain what is x greater than or equal to 3. Okay, so by the equation, you can understand that the cartons of milk should be at least 3, correct? It should not be less than 3. Okay, cartons of milk bought by the man should be, it may be equal to 3 cartons or it should be at least 3. That is the meaning. Okay, fine. So they have given he buys at least 2 bottles of water. Correct. Write an inequality to show that he buys at least 2 bottles of water. So what is the number of bottles he bought? Okay. So he buys at least 2 bottles of water. So how can I show this? You know the number of bottles is y. Y should be at least 2, which means the number of bottles should not be less than 2. Okay, fine. It can be equal to 2 and it should not be less than 2. That is the meaning. Okay, then what they have asked, he cannot carry more than 8, a total of 8 bottles and cartons. Write this as an inequality. Okay, so he cannot carry more than 8, either more than 8 bottles or 8 cartons of milk. So how can we write? Okay, so we'll just write he cannot carry more than 8. Cannot, it can be either bottles or cartons, but he cannot carry more than 8. Okay, 8 numbers. So what we will write, you know, the total number is x plus y. X plus y should be less than or equal to 8. Why? Because he cannot carry more than 8. 8 should be the greatest value. That is the meaning. Okay, fine. So the next part of the question is they have just asked us to plot this in a graph. Okay, I'll just take the graph. So you see, first we have got 3 inequalities and we are just going to plot all these three inequalities on the graph. So first is x is, what is the first thing? X should be at least 3. Okay. So for this we can directly write x equals 3 and plot it on in the graph. Okay. When x is equal to 3, y value will be 0. Okay. So for this I'll just draw the dashed line. No, it's a solid line because in equality we have just got equal to sign. Okay, so this just represents x equals 3. Okay, sorry, it looks like greater than symbol. So x equals 3. Okay, so next part of the question is y should be at least 2. Okay, which is nothing but y equals 2. I'll just write this. See, if y equals 2, then the value of x will be 0. Okay, this is the graph I'm getting for y equals 2. All right, so what's the next part? Next part, they have asked us to find the total should be not more than 8. Okay, x plus y should not be greater than or equal to, I mean, it should be lesser than or equal to 8. Okay, so I'll just write this as x plus y equals 8 and we'll try to plot some values for this. When x0, y will be 8. Okay, when x1, y is 7. x2, y is 6. Okay, x3, y is 5. x is 4, y is 4. I hope you understand this. Okay, so when we do all these things, finally when x is 8, y will become 0. Okay, fine. So we'll try to solve this also. I mean, we'll try to plot this also on the graph. So when x is 0, my y value is 8 and 1, it is 7 2, 6, 3, it is 5. Then for 4, 4. For 5, it is 3. For 6, it is true. For 7, it is 1. And for 8, it is 0. So I get a graph like this, or I mean line like this. So this yellow line represents x plus y is lesser than or equal to 8. Okay, fine. So now you know the region that is common to all. Okay, so this is the region that is common to all the three inequalities. Got it? So you have to shade the region that is common to all three inequalities, which is this part. Okay, I hope this question is clear. All right, we'll deal with the next question in the next class. Okay, we will solve few more questions in this problem. Then we'll move to next chapter. Thank you.